Welcome, 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 guys. Another Token 2049. As Andrew mentioned, that's been my 10th year doing this. Very excited to be with you all. We're going to have a lot of fun the next 20 minutes to talk about how the ecosystem is evolving from exchanges to ecosystems in the crypto super app world. I promise you'll be insightful, interesting, and hopefully exciting as we have the Dream Team panel today, and we'll jump all over it as well. Andrew introduced the panel, but I want to give a bit of background I think will be very, very useful. You mentioned first Ciara on that side. By the way, before doing what she's doing now at C2 Ventures, she used to be at Hobie Group, but she's also an author. She wrote a book called The Rise of the Metaverse. And if you're wondering what happened to her, she was at the ER until 4 a.m. last night. Her contact lens broke, and really, she's back on stage this morning. Cecilia from MEXC. By the way, one thing about Cecilia, she's at MEXC. You guys know her as a chief strategy officer there. But previously, she co-founded Morph and Femex, and she's a big, big fitness junkie as well. So good to have us with us today as well.
Thank you.
And of course, last but not least, Vivien Lin. Before being a chief product officer at BingX, she was at Morgan Stanley, BNP Paribas, Deutsche Bank, focused on Forex and equity derivatives. And in her free time, in BC, she's a big golfer and also built an app for insurance agents. So here we go. You have a Dream Team panel today. We're going to jump into it. I want to start actually with you, Cecilia. When we're obviously at Token, when you think about the future of a crypto super app, how is it going to look? How do you envision that?
Well, it depends on how do you define super apps, right? If you're talking about super apps like WeChat, honestly, I don't think it's going to happen in crypto, at least in short terms.
Why is that?
Because I think being a super app, first you need to have a very high frequency use. Chat or call a cab or get some food. It's high frequency. You use it every day. And second, it has to be a rigid request. Like you have to use it, otherwise you will die today. So WeChat is start like this. If we take WeChat like example, it start like this. People use it to chat every day, and then it develops into adding payment, adding contents, adding lifestyle related into it. So people live on WeChat. This is what I define super app as. But if you look into crypto, there's nothing like WeChat, which you will use every day.
Yep.
We are running exchanges. Exchange is already on the top of the whole blockchain sectors. People use it with high frequency, but it's not like daily use. We have a lot of big traders, but they are not like day traders. So they don't have to open MEXC app every day or our competitors' app every day. And meanwhile, there's no need for them to live on this app. It's not rigid request. But what I'm thinking is that we can build something more like, for example, Revolut from Europe or Nubank from Latin America. Or Alipay, for example, from China. This is more based on finance and payment. So we use, probably one day, I think many SEXs are already building that. SEX is the entry for many traders, and they use it for wallet, for payment, for earn crypto, for lending, for collateral, all these things like this. I think this will be the future.
But also in difference with WeChat, people start using it as a messaging app and then evolve into payments, right? Whereas it's different from the crypto apps where people are coming into MEXC to trade, not actually to message each other at the get-go on it initially. I just want to move it to you as well on the data side though, right? Because the reason WeChat is so successful is there's a lot of data. The algorithm can give what's relevant to me and actually be able to cross-sell me information as well. How is that going to work in crypto? Do you think we're going to be able to use this data capability?
Yes, of course. I think crypto industry was built, the strength of blockchain technology is about transparency, about the volume of data. Imagine there's like millions of data transaction log uploaded there on all the mainnet. So I think data is something that's maybe not that accessible on the traditional industry, but it's available for everyone to access in blockchain. So I have a slightly different opinion as Cecilia about super app. Is just as you said, WeChat start from a messenger application, then they extend their scope to a wealth management, to a trading app, maybe, and a social media. And what we are seeing now is that like Binance, and maybe like many of the big exchanges, they're trying to extend their scope from a trading trading use case, extend it to wealth management, extend it to like a strategy, trading bot, social trading, and extend to like newsletter, news outlet. So this is the way that we extend the use case, like also increase the efficiency, increase the frequency, and also like we want to influence more of life aspects from like single one app.
Yeah, but Vivien, just on that, like, isn't there a bit of a contradiction, because there's many panels today on talk about DeFi and privacy and crypto and payments that we have, and many of us, like, we're advocating towards that as well. Ironically, for this to work, to have a good super app, you need that data. Isn't it a bit contrary to what crypto even stands for?
You mean
there's a difference when I'm using WeChat or Kareem app in the Middle East or Grab here. I'm comfortable giving my data for my taxi routes and my food. But when you're integrating that also with payments, it's a different level of privacy you're giving out.
Yeah, I think we need to leave that problem to technology advancement. I'm a product manager, so from a product perspective, there's always a way that we can solve a particular problem. So number one, we need to figure out what is the problem is. As in your question just now, the problem or the question to be solved is privacy. Then we find out what kind of the technology we can use. For example, ZK. For example, multi-layer of blockchain. For example, on what also consensus as well of what layer of information can be uploaded or to be put on chain for what of the accessibility for what group of user. We can have all that domains defined clearly to solve the privacy problem. But of course, the efficiency is another a separate question, and the performance is a separate question.
But Ciara, I'll move it to you, because when you look at super apps, there is a winner takes all, right? Grab in the Middle East dominates. Grab here in Singapore, for example, right? Kareem in the Middle East, right? And same you can say with all the other apps, Uber and the likes in other parts of the world. In crypto right now, like if you look at the dominance of Binance, for example, do you believe any of the other platforms have a chance? Or if a platform can succeed at this, it's going to be de facto Binance because of the market share it has?
First of all, I'm very sorry to be here with my Halloween makeup, but the key takeaway is be very careful when you remove your contact lens, unless you want a surgeon to scratch it all from your eyeball 3 a.m. in the morning. And I also think this is probably a better question for these two ladies on the stage, but here's my 2 cents. I don't think you beat Binance by becoming the next Binance. You can change the game, right? It's already happening. It's revolutionary. It's crypto. Everything's new. You have to be prepared for all the kinds of other alternatives trading opportunities in this market. We have Hyperliquid, we have Aster, even for stablecoin, we have like Plasma, everything's coming out. This industry is ever changing. Everything's new in every like 3 months. So I think for beating Binance dominance, you can go vertical, you can go regional, take advantage of all of the clear rules of regulatory licenses out there, be the most smooth and working fiat to crypto to on-chain ramp. There's all the other ways you can take the market share, which is currently about 40% of the whole trading volume on central exchanges.
But even there, I would argue that if I'm using a trading platform, I'm not doing, it comes back to our initial conversation. I started with messaging apps, then we added payments. And nobody's going on their crypto platform to trade it. A good analogy I would give is Bloomberg Terminals and TradFi that has been the de facto messaging mechanism in a lot of hedge funds and buy side and sell side. Like, do you have any example of payment platform that has been the entry point that has then become a super app? Or which one do you think is successful?
The payment app? We have Alipay.
Alipay, yeah. So you would argue Alipay is the one that has started with payment and then everything else evolved.
Right, but I also think it's also a cultural thing, because Asia's very educated on super apps already. It's not for everybody. But for Asia specifically, the users are very used to deal with a lot of the things within one app. You want the payments, you want the messaging, you want even booking for your hotel, you want your movie tickets, everything in one app. So it's just the ground for it.
So if that's possible, like coming back to the concern that the super app has already a lot of data for us, and I think China is a special case with Alipay and WeChat Pay and all these things. But coming back to what you were saying initially, Vivien, so do you believe like the solution could be technological one? Like could we have it on DeFi or ZK proof? You think that's the way we're going to be able to build a crypto super app if we're able to build one?
That's a possible way.
Yeah.
But I think there's many different options. It relies on many different layer of things. Number one is technology. Number two is whether we are ready to apply that technology. Number three is compliance, right? It's always think about, but I want to echo a little bit about the BingX competition. Actually, nowadays, when we talk about market share, about competition, we rarely talk about we want to go beyond Binance, we want to take over Binance. What we're talking about here is that what is our core strengths? We always think about what is our core strengths and how we manage to allocate the resources needed to maximize our core strengths. And you know what? I give you an example for like copy trading. When BingX entering into the market, there's OKX, like BitMEX. There are many like already very established exchange out there, but we still find our very niche market is because we find, okay, well, so good at doing social trading. That's such a small use case, but we build it beautifully. That's why we attract the first batch of user. This same thing happen nowadays. Like Binance big, Bybit big, and like maybe we are not small as well, right? But still we see hyperliquidity. We still see many other like Aster. They are coming out, they renovate the rules, they renovate how they build the user experience, build their tokenomics. So these are their core strengths. The thing is, ask yourself, what kind of the problem you want to solve? And what is the core strengths, and how you organize your resource to maximize it.
But is there a problem to solve? Do
you
people
have
in
to
crypto want a super app in crypto, or they're just comfortable using TradFi Rails for the food delivery, and when it comes to payments, their wealth, they're happy to keep it either in beautiful centralized exchanges or using in DeFi or self-custody wallets?
If you ask my opinion, I would say we focus on solving particular problem.
Yeah.
And if those problems, those features, functionality has to be combined in the super app, then so be it. If the functionality people just don't want to use to combine it for privacy reason, for functionality, performance reason, we just separate it up.
Cecilia, do you believe there's a problem to be solved? Do you believe we need a super app in crypto?
I don't think everything should be on chain. That's
You don't think everything should be on chain?
I don't think everything should be on chain. I was building a consumer chain before. Morph is a consumer layer too. So at first we were very actively looking for consumer builders. And then we failed because there are not so many consumer builders on the market. And there's no need for consumer dApps on chain because people they're happily using their Web 2 apps. And it's very convenient. They're very satisfied with that. Why they have to be on chain? So people give me answers like, because of privacy issue, or because of airdrops, the tokens. So they treat the tokens more as a product than the product itself. But eventually you will find that won't last. So that's why I think more than 60 or even 70% of the builders on this market is still DeFi builders, or DeFi or AI, I would say, builders. But very, very little, they are related to lifestyle or daily use dApps, which means that there's either there's no supply and there's no demand on this market. So back to the first answer I give you, I don't think that something like WeChat will happen on chain very soon because people come to crypto because of maybe investment or maybe speculation. This is their first step. That's why the trading platform, the exchanges are always their first stop in crypto. And then they start to discover more, but more still in DeFi. It's related to finance because this is our nature. But of course, if you think bigger, it will be more and more to put your life on chain, but it's a very long-term thing.
Because I would argue on my Web 2 super app, I should be able to order a cab immediately. Whereas when it comes to payment, I should have 2FA, we should have all the security that we have in place. So I just think even when it comes to UI, the UX, ease of use of these platforms, there's a difference, anyways, where we should be heading as well. But coming back to what you said, I just want to double click a bit on it, because if, let's say, we're building L1, the foundation will come and support various people building on a L1 on various use cases, right? If you believe the super app is going to come, let's say, from a centralized exchange, do you believe the investment arm of MEXC will should come and support these apps? You think it's be built externally or will be built by the MC developer in-house?
I think it's also same as how we build up the ecosystem on chain. It's the same, like thinking about building ecosystem, whether it's exchange or it's a chain, it's pretty similar. At first, you actually need to build something by yourself, because in this case, you'll keep it safe and you will make sure that it's a legit product which can acquire real users. And afterwards, you can not outsource, but to find talented builders to build them here. But for MEXC, I think we are pretty different from like what you asked about Binance. Binance is like they're building everything in different verticals. They want to build a super app in crypto finance. But MEXC is very focused. We are a big company, but we know what we are and who we are and what we can build. I think MEXC is very good at building just trading platform. So that's why we put all the efforts in building, to do the listing. We have the most trendy tokens, like 4,000 trading pairs on MEXC. We are the fastest to list all these meme coins on the market. And then we have super low fee, extreme low fees. 200 trading pairs on MEXC are 0 fees. And the rest are still like lower than the other top leading exchanges. And then we have airdrops every day. So you come to MEXC, we give you easy access to all these tokens to purchase. And super good, like very comprehensive liquidity. So it's just for trading experience. And the rest we use MEXC Ventures, because MEXC Venture is actively investing in a lot of leading projects on the market. We believe we give them the money, we give them this commitment, and we think that they are the right person, they are the right talents to build. So we put them on the same boat with us, and then we build together.
So on this point, Ciara, like as an allocator, as an investor, right? If you're looking at these crypto super apps, where would you put your money?
I'll probably start with investing into a wallet native account OS for content, identity, and investments.
Content.
Yeah, content, identity, and investments. And I also think that in Web3, you probably won't have a super app that deals with everything, right? So I think in Web3, there are 3 components very important. Who's the ownership of the users, ownership of the branding, and ownership of the assets. I don't think one app will deal with all of it and actually take all of the market share. So even for WeChat or Alipay, all the super apps, even TikTok is doing e-commerce, right? But they actually don't deal with a lot of the stuff by themselves. They're the gateway. They have partners when it comes to booking tickets. They have partners when it comes to even asset management, right? So it's important to build a strong brand in this market and win the trust and really work with all of the regulators in different regions and ensure that users' assets will be safe so that you can start building there and serve whatever you can to the users out there.
So let me ask a question to actually each one of you. If you were a betting person today, in which country and will we see the first crypto super app? And if there's an existing player that would build it, who you think it will be?
Country.
Yeah, if there is one. I mean, to use the Alipay, WeChat example, right? Compared to Europe and other places. Or you think it'll be in China, you think it'll be in Middle East, you think it'll be in US? If you had to take a guess.
Okay, well, I just trying to think about, the super app, the builder of the super app probably will be in US, but the application, the massive adoption of the super app probably will be in Asia. That is my answer.
Cecilia, what do you think?
I think if you are talking about their entity, it must be in BVI or Cayman Island, right?
No, but I mean, of course. But usage, right?
Of course.
De facto super app is a bit more localized as well.
I think most builders are still in China, India, and US. But China, because of the regulation issue, I think it will be difficult for Chinese builders to build such a super app. US, I would say same with Vivien, because US is still leading all these innovations in crypto. But if they are building a platform and open to all different builders, I think it's like basically every builders in the world.
What do you think?
Mandarin-speaking group.
Really?
So not China, of course, because we had the history of all the unhappiness with doing different things in crypto with China, right? But because the user base is already educated, all the UI UX for super apps, users are very used to it. So it just naturally, I think it's going to be Chinese speaking group.
Yeah, so it'll be the users who are comfortable using WeChat Pay, Alipay, the ecosystems.
Yeah.
I'll be the one to be more inclined to use a crypto app if there is one. I don't know how to make it language-wise, because the de facto super app is very localized. I mean, but anyway. Guys, we have less than 3 minutes left. My best friend, the Bell, is here with us. I'm gonna ask you guys quick questions, and I need 1 or 2 word answers. You ready? Ciara, I'm starting with you. We're starting easy. We're in Singapore for TOKEN2049. What's your favorite thing about Singapore?
The airport.
Airport!
So efficient.
Especially new terminals, beautiful. Favorite thing about Singapore?
Singaporean.
Singaporeans, here we go, here you go.
Spicy crab.
Spicy crab, here we go. I'm starting with you on this side, Vivien. What's the one thing you love the most about our industry?
I love to work with engineers.
Engineers. Cecilia.
I think the future.
The future.
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. This is a tricky one. The crypto industry needs to choose a mascot. A mascot. Who is a better mascot and why? I'm going to start with you. Superman, the Ninja Turtles, Humpty Dumpty, or Labubu?
Oh, it has to go with Labubu.
Why is that?
Because I'm also Chinese.
Love it.
I think it's CZ.
CZ as a mascot. Oh, okay.
He's
It's
the
not
best
even a choice, but here you go.
He's the best mascot for crypto, right?
I would choose Labubu as well because it looks similar as our mascot. We're adopting a round face.
Brings me to the next question now. I'm changing it because of this. Tomorrow you have to start a new startup. Vivien is starting from you. You have a choice of these 4 co-founders. Who do you choose? CZ, Justin Sun, who's coming right after this, by the way. Nice little plug. Bezos, or Donald Trump?
I would stay at BingX.
Why is that?
Such a lovely company to work for.
Donald Trump.
Why is that?
I think it's obvious, right? Yeah. Like.
I just do it by myself. They're not hungry anymore.
Is what, sorry?
They're not hungry anymore.
Donald Trump calls you into a meeting, Ciara, to ask you about your point of view, your best advice on crypto. What do you tell him?
I'll keep investing.
Keep investing.
Yeah.
Tell me what?
Donald Trump calls you in a meeting at the White House to give you his advice, for you to give advice on crypto. What do you tell him?
Buy more Bitcoin.
Buy more Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Same, investment in Bitcoin.
Guys, 1 more question left, 2 more questions left. You have to go back to school today. What is the one course you take you wish you had taken, knowing everything you know about the future of finance?
The future of finance?
Yeah, what course would you take if you go back to school today, you wish you had taken?
History.
Arts.
Arts, here we go.
Yeah, painting. I would want to.
Arts as well.
Yeah.
And the last question, guys, to finish up with 10 seconds. I'll start from you, Ciara. My traditional question, whoever goes on stage or on TV with me, if you can have lunch or dinner with one person, dead or alive. Lunch or dinner with one person, dead or alive. Who do you have lunch or dinner with?
Well, it's hard. Can you come back to me?
Sorry?
Can you come back to me on this?
Answer.
Walt Disney.
Cecilia.
Satoshi Nakamoto.
Satoshi Nakamoto, whoever she or he is. And to finish it off, our panel on super apps at the TOKEN2049, lunch or dinner with one person. Who you have lunch or dinner with?
Sam Altman.
Sam Altman, where you go. Just sold the secondaries today. He's very happy. Guys, thank you very much. Big round of applause for our panel. Thank you very much, everybody.